In this video, let's talk about the next very important field in your product data feed, and which is your description column. And the description column is right here, and I'll walk you through right from the Google guidelines of how to write that field. So again, you see this is right from the Google page right here, their support, and it's the description area. Now, the first thing we see is that it's up to 5,000 characters is what you're allowed in that field. And you don't have to use up all those characters, but at least 1,000 or 2,000 characters is good. What they do recommend is that in their best practices is that you, in the first about 500 characters or so, make sure that you explain all that's really important about your product and list all these attributes. Of course, if they apply to your products. If they don't apply to your products, don't bend over backwards to fit it in there. No problem. But just make sure that you apply that you explain what's really important about your product. They have a lot of also additional guidelines. I'll let you read it on your own because it's quite a bit to go through in this quick video. I'll also suggest to you a couple of things not to do. Don't use caps. Don't put links right in here. Don't be overly promotional with your product. Just explain it. Don't try to, any kind of gray hat techniques. I'd recommend don't do them because it's really easy for Google to catch this right here. And there's also examples, and we're going to go through a couple. The first is a book. It's, a book by Eric Schmidt about Google, and you can see that, how he wrote his, and you can see the hardware store, hardware and software, Google Chromecast, how Chromecast wrote their example, and different kinds of products. So you basically see some examples. This is what you should do for your description, and follow these guidelines. Another thing I'd like to point your attention to is on the right side right here. Look at all the items you can browse, and these are all the things you can put into your product feed, and these are all the good practices that you can add in here. So if you have a question about a certain field and you don't want me making many videos about boring videos about every field, here's the information that you need on the right side for each thing. If you don't know what to write about your brand, you scroll down right here, and here's this link will explain to you what to write in the brand column. You don't know how to do, the pricing. Okay, it explains how the pricing. You see how it works. So from now on, every time you're confused or you want to optimize it just a little bit more, this is your reference essentially for how to do good practices for all the possible attributes in your product feed listing.